so much acrylic powder, and I was like, okay. Yeah, she kind of slayed.
When we're outside is frightful. And the fire is so delightful.
Just keep letting it snow, man.
No, I'd rather have snow than friends or down. At least the PC in my bag is safe.
Honestly,
Snow.
this visibility ain't that cheap.
Would it be possible for me to like run out to the library real quick?
Yeah.
What do you need from the
I
library?
was about to say.
I need to resend my project
Oh, I know you're about to
for
send it
religions
now.
because apparently the way I did it wasn't good enough.
What do you mean what project?
It's like a final essay project, and I did it on Microsoft Word, and apparently I need to do it on Google Docs. So
Oh.
So can you,
No, it's files. It's you turned it in and the file was corrupted, right?
I don't know.
What did the teacher say? You know?
So that I can send it in, even though I emailed it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would say just send it via Google Docs because most teachers don't do Word.
Yeah, I got
Because
it.
so we only swapped over to Microsoft and all that the year I joined. So this is only the second year that Microsoft products have been used.
It's all because of all the.
Yeah, well, no, it's because SUNY. Period. SUNY's everything Microsoft. I swear, whenever it starts snowing, the Christmas carols come out.
I drove here.
It's beginning to look a lot
yeah,
like
I was
Christmas.
Thanksgiving salad.
Yeah, chip my tooth.
This is the official decree.
Is it alright if I?
No, no, it's not. No, the rule is that after my birthday is when Christmas carols start.
You know, keep an eye out for a report.
If you have cars here, I recommend putting on your.
My job's to sit there.
Oh, I forgot to do that.
At least it's over there.
Nick. You're done.
Yes, I
No,
told you.
I actually should probably do that. I actually.
No,
No,
she drove
I
that.
drove here. I drove here.
I can drive.
Oh, it's snowing now.
I should have grabbed my other coat that's sitting in my car, the actual windbreaker.
I'm doing to break your
No,
No,
not my kneecaps.
I can't. I want to get my Howlers player sheet.
I just barely.
I really
made it.
The Howler.
Oh, yeah.
Remember he said he was gonna make the player sheet.
I think I made a big Carl.
Huh?
Well, those horses need some.
I may do some of my characters design stuff too.
So right.
Honestly, I don't care because we don't have a TV anymore, so I really don't have much to do during all this time.
No, I'm just doing it because I know that's unheard of. So.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't Sleep Tenant have any office hours? Studio office? I know, but I'm just saying, it feels.
Here, I'll give you this one.
Is it the same as this last year?
There's a lot.
I get that.
I'm giving you these as well. Just now.
Just log in.
But congratulations. Do you guys have any questions about
Well, yeah, I know.
So, here is kind of an outline of what to do. The old business will go through this.
I looked on there. There was nothing about it.
So we do this bill.
I looked on there. They removed it.
So what'll happen here is,
Organization.
he'll say,
So
motion.
business could not put it quiz until they did that.
And then small assembly, and then you go to the mic and we're.
I like all this. That DJ. Hello. Yeah, I'm here. You're standing in for Sierra again? Of course. Damn. My job. Yes, I can use your mic now. Yeah, as soon as they're talking.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I can't have you.
Can't have it go.
I can't have you go.
I think we did better than I expected.
Discuss like private. And then.
Okay, I think I did better than I expected for
We'll do it again.
play.
And then at the end.
Maybe not better than I expected for the team, but
So.
I expected it to be like 4 and 15 each game.
And you're getting small today too, right? So you guys all just go.
I know. I hate comp. I guarantee you that
Yeah, and then you're good. And then
tired.
Yeah, the problem with comp is we don't lose games.
The only reason we might.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, one, I get it.
I know.
But if
No,
any.
I played one game. Played against Diamond, top frag, and then only lost 15. Or the next game, I played against golds. How does that?
You have to consistently win.
Yeah.
So if it gives you hope at the end of the tunnel, I'll tell you, I'm like, I was terrible. And then the next game, I get 2 games, and then I'm tired, and I got 35. And that's when I knew I could be rated. When I hit top 100. So
Yeah.
this is the same thing, you just gotta grind.
The last game, I was 24 RR.
Yeah.
I was like, it was my first solo.
This winter break, hard
I
grind.
solo for you, and I lost 24 RR, and I cried.
This Thanksgiving break and winter break, all hard grind mode.
How do you say your last name? Finish the battle.
Schnorr,
Thank you.
honestly, I got that too. the same outfit.
I wear a polo and jeans every day.
Morgan, if they took a mirror, right?
I like that color.
Morgan, they took a mirror and they inverted us, right? You're like, you got like super colorful stuff going on, like, and I'm the monotone, you know?
Turn the saturation down, you gotta turn it up.
Our Vice President, here. Treasurer Wu.
Here.
Secretary Wadsworth.
Here.
Chief Justice. Here. College Counsel. Here. Director of Community Outreach. Here. Director of PR. Here. Senator Hobb. Senator Rogers. Here. Senator Self. Here. Pro Tem Fees.
Here.
Senator D'Argenio. Not here. Senator Rosemilio. Here. And Senator Humphrey. Our advisor. Excused. CFB. Here. Wildcat Media. Here. The Factory Times. Here. Web. Wildcat Esports. That concludes roll call. Going on to the approval of minutes of November 10th, 2022. Do we have any discussion for these minutes? All right. Seeing none. Does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the minutes? Seeing none, that'll pass 6-0-0. We have one announcement from Michelle Tucker. If she is here. Yes.
So I'm just asking the student government leaders to get in behind the, your SGU sign there. And we're doing a holiday video, and you did this, everybody did it last year for me too. You just say season's greetings from student government at Utica, happy holidays from student government at Utica. So, and then I'll be out of your hair.
All right. So I'll just get to the back. Yeah.
Go back to work.
Everyone asking you to say fucking 5 sentences? Are you?
All right. Going back into the meeting, we have no guest speakers. We'll be going on to exec reports. So our president isn't here, but for the vice president report, hi y'all. The president is currently in a faculty senate meeting, so he's excused from this meeting today. But aside from that, I'd like to welcome our new senator, Daniel Humphrey. If you can give him a round of applause. And again, information about depending on which committees you'd like to select, and each committee head will be notified of their new member. But aside from that, I don't have really anything to report upon on this week, so on to our treasury report.
Hello, hello, hello. I can't believe the semester is passing by so fast. I'll be meeting with AUX Services today at 4 p.m. and this upcoming weekend, I would be attending the Fall 2022 SUNY SA Conference. I wish everyone luck in their journey, whether you be traveling 10 minutes or several hours back home. Stay safe, enjoy your break, y'all deserve it.
Our secretary. We have no chief of staff. On to our chief justice report.
No report?
Our director of PR report.
The PR team has planned for photographers to show up during the Senate meeting on December 1st to take photos, so please show up and look your best. Secretary Wadsworth will send you more info in the future, so watch out. Thank you. Right.
And our director of community outreach.
Hello everyone, happy to see you all here today. I've begun a can drive with CFB where students can donate cans in exchange for volunteer time as well as club money. I've also begun work on an upcoming coat and blanket drive, and that's about all I have to say. Thank you for your time and enjoy this winter weather.
Our college council. And our advisor.
Conference has been canceled due to weather. Will come out shortly, but just so those know, SA conference is canceled. There'll be an assembly meeting on Sunday via Zoom, but more details to come.
Now on to committee reports. Academic affairs and tech.
I hope everyone is doing well.
Survey for students to fill out. Also, the committee has an Instagram now, which is SGU Academic Affairs and Tech, all one word. If you ever want to attend the meeting, feel free to stop by on Mondays 6 to 7 p.m. in the SGU conference room, or email me at sguacademicaffairs@sunypoly.edu, and I will include you in the email sent out on Fridays, or send you a personal email with the link to join us via Microsoft Teams. Have a great rest of your week. I yield.
On to budget.
Afternoon. Budget will be meeting today in the conference room at 3 p.m. and we will be discussing student activity fee waivers. That will be it, and have fun on your break.
Class gift.
On the following Monday, well, next Monday, we will be meeting with Andre Legata, who is our effective, faculty contact for the majority of class gift. We're still looking for seniors and, essentially anybody who is interested in, I guess, a change on campus to come by and give us opinions and ideas, and that would be all on Mondays from about 2 to 3 p.m. in the SGU lounge. I'll yield.
Game room. DI and wellness.
November does focus on mental health, so we'll be posting specifically about this subject. About mental health and mental health. But to learn more, please follow our Instagram at SGU_PCI, and we will be posting all about that. We're also working on a structure event on November 3rd, which is on-campus work day. The first half will be in the show and get a surprise, so stay tuned for more information. Our first event will be tomorrow evening at 7:30 a.m. We'll be speaking with Dr. Montgomery. We will be handing out stickers, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact me at SGU. And as always,
On to food.
Hello, everybody. I am glad to say we are thinking about hosting these open student events that will be going on pretty soon. These events are basically meant to engage students and other faculty members if they wish to come and spend some time with our on-campus chefs as well as those of the Airmark Company. It will be a great time to try new types of food on the spot and talk about the concerns about the food. These open student events will have a determined day and time soon. As for me, I still will welcome you all. Our next food committee meeting will be held today at 2:30 p.m. And also, have a good break. Thanksgiving, I yield.
On to policy report. Hi, all. Last week, Policy Committee met to discuss the updates on the Chief Justice position, and you'll see one of those reflected on the agenda today. Poster policy was also discussed, and I just have to finalize the poster policy before I submit it, and that should be on next Thursday, not next Thursday, the following Thursday's meeting, right after the break. Aside from that, I yield on to safety and facilities, which is not here. So if the co-chair has a report.
Safety and Facilities is a bi-weekly committee, so we have not had a recent update, but we will be meeting through Microsoft Teams on the next week over break. If for any interested individuals would like to come speak with us, it's Senator Argenio that you would have to reach out to in order to receive an invite to that. I can't list his email off the top of my head, but that would be that. I yield.
That concludes all committee reports. On to org reports. Web.
Just a quick reminder, everybody, to come join us before we leave for Thanksgiving break. Friday, here in the NPR for our karaoke event. Will be, I believe, starting at 7 and last until about 9:30. We'll have food for everybody who joins, as well as some fun watching people go up and sing. Thank you, I yield.
CFB.
So at the moment I can't speak today. I apologize, everyone. This past Tuesday, we were going to have an event, but we had to cancel just due to some information that we had to change up. We were going to include students, but then we chose to just include clubs because it was just a little easier for planning-wise, and we pushed it back a few weeks, so it won't happen until after Thanksgiving break. It's going to be in the theater room, so if you guys want to come just to have some fun at Jackbox, you guys are all more than welcome to. It'd be a fun time. Otherwise, CFB has nothing else to present. I yield.
Wildcat Media.
The Wildcat Media Harvest Festival will be held this Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. I hope to see you all there. I yield.
The Factory Times is not here, so Wildcat Esports.
Good evening, everyone. Hope we're doing all right. As far as our teams going on, Rocket League and Smash Bros. Did very good during their regular season. So in the postseason coming up, majority of their games may be streamed on ECAC_esports on Twitch.tv. They're expected to make a deep run, and I hope that all of our teams do well in competition. Other than that, Smash Weeklies have been going well, and yeah, have a good break this upcoming weekend. I yield.
That'll conclude all reports. Going on to old business. Bill 2223-11, Budget Reserve Poll 22-23, Senator DeHop.
-11.
This is created by a committee, so it has a second.
We, the member of the student government at Utica of SUNY Poly, as presented in the Senate, do enact as follow. The purpose of this resolution is to withdraw $260,000 from SGU Reserve. As of November 10th, 2022, SGU has approximately XXX in reserve.
Do we have any discussion for this bill? Our treasurer.
I'd like to entertain a motion to replace all instances of XXX to $604,000. I yield.
So moved by Senator Rosamilia. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Suff.
Point of clarification, what was that number?
We are now in the motion. Is there any discussion for it? Alright, seeing none, we'll be going on to voting. All those in favor? All those who oppose? And all those who abstain. With that, the motion passes 6-0-0. Going back onto the bill, do we have any further discussion? Pro Tem fees.
Hold it up, because I don't think we said anything directly for entertainment and proposal. Forgot about that. Yeah, that's mainly centered in towards a project that we tried to pull off last year with the previous ORCAD, and we weren't able to get it through in time to have like an actual like ride, not something like blown up or something more like, you know, a Ferris wheel or something like that at Carnival Day. That's where that money is going towards, to try to pay off that bill if we can actually get that to arrive on campus. I yield.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator DeHop.
It says donation to improve the learning center. What exactly were we fixing in there, and how bad is it?
I'll yield to the secretary.
Say the learning center?
Yes.
I am not sure. That would be a question for the president. He is in many meetings. I'm going to yield to the advisor.
Well, he just left the office. He's walking down in here too. I mean, I think for an advisement, you should just walk over there and see. If you don't use the learning center, you probably wouldn't have any experience in there. But I think if you were there, outdated would be probably the best way to go forward. Uncomfortable, maybe a place that you don't want to go necessarily and study has been some of the feedback. But I do believe that your president's going to walk in any second. There he is.
So just a point of clarification, since the president is here, they were asking a question regarding why the line for the student center, or learning center, apologies.
My apologies. So the specific question is why that amount, or why the line in general? I'll yield to whoever.
It's Senator Hop.
So, like, what are we fixing in there?
So, right now that is up to discussion. What this amount is in the poll is just the maximum amount that we will give. We can reduce that here if the Senate would like to see that. My plan is once this bill passes, I will work with all of the Senate to write another resolution to determine what exactly each dollar will go to. I yield.
Pro Tem fees.
Is there any specific, like, is this just like sort of putting money aside or figuring out what specific fixes can be made, or is there something that's been hit by the
Pro Tem fees, it would be the exact thing that you said your first time. It's just an amount, nothing in mind yet. I have worked with, or I shouldn't say I've worked, I did meet briefly, informally with a few members in the library and in that administrative department to discuss what they would like to see. But again, because this is student money, it's ultimately what the student want to see. So this is up for debate and discussion after passing. I yield.
Pro Tem fees.
Yes.
Alright, do we have any further discussion for the bill? Senator Sill.
But I know some might want the explanation. 30,000 towards the new pools. Anyone care to explain a little more than what I can probably give? I yield to the president.
So when we purchased the new air hockey table, we had to buy some extra equipment that the school didn't have. So that accounts for that amount, and it also accounts for inflation and then the price to get them assembled. The tables that I did look at were the exact same as the ones that we currently have upstairs. And if we decided we wanted to pay a couple extra $100, we can get them assembled inside of that room as well. So just short and brief, that amount accounts for assembly if wanted, and the purchase of outside tools that we would need to rent. I yield.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
Why is line number 304 and 305 like not combined? Because as I look at it, it seems like they both pertain to like extra funding requests. Shouldn't like that $2,000 be combined into $12,000? I yield to the floor.
Our treasurer.
Where do you see line 304 and 305?
I see it under the memo of line 304 under the memo. Yeah, it's under Club Funding Board.
There's only one line that's 305.
There's a 304 under it. That says it's like highlighted.
Did this not get updated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's taken out due to house rules. So.
Oh, it was taken out?
Yeah.
Okay.
On my side, at least.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
Oh yeah. Why? Oh yeah. Why has there not been a balance for the amount of money spent for the Apocalypse Week? Unless I'm wrong, is there a balance to spend for the Apocalypse Week, or is that not there? I yield to the floor.
That I will yield to Webb for that one. It was a question regarding the amount for Apocalypse Week, if that was already an amount that was. If talking about the amount that Senator Feast asked earlier. Yes, that goes specifically to the line we set aside for Apocalypse Week.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
Point of clarification. Under the CFB 305 line transfer, what does it mean when clubs are gradually progressing to their activities before COVID-19? Because I saw that like it said under that, and I didn't know what it meant. I yield to the floor.
I know CFB has a fill-in for the chair today, but if you'd like to answer the question.
Of course. So back when I first started in 2020, clubs did not get a lot of activities done because they had to be very cautious due to COVID guidelines. But now that COVID guidelines are slowly decreasing, a lot more clubs are asking for more money, for extra funding. So we have so far, I believe we've given more than $10,000 to clubs because they've been asking for a lot more money to do events. So we're asking to have more money pulled from reserves so that way we can actually fulfill those needs, since clubs are becoming more active and they're getting more members and more people in their clubs so that they can afford to bring them places and do more activities that they should want to do.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
I would like to make a motion to take $2,000 out of the SGU additional projects category and put that towards the Learning Center donation.
Do we have a second?
Was 304? I think it was 304.
While we give a second for that. Is there
I'm not
any-
sure actually. I kind of forgot about that. I think unless it got updated, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
And it said additional projects, but I kind of forgot what it was. Sorry about that.
Are you looking, quite
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I was like thinking like take $2,000 out of that 15,000, and I was thinking just put in the learning center donation. Just like make it more maybe. It's like much. I yield.
We are currently in the second for the motion, so if any other senator second. Seeing none, the motion dies. Going back on the discussion of the bill. Do we have any further discussion? Alright, seeing none. This is an old business, so we'll be going on to voting. All those in favor? All those who oppose? And all those who abstain. With that, that passes 5-0-1. That concludes old business. Going on to new business. Bill 2223-12, motioning power for the Chief Justice. Pro Tem Fees.
Motion to accept Senate Bill number 2223-12, motion power for the Chief Justice.
This does not need a second because of a committee. Do we have any discussion? Pro Tem Fees.
I would like to motion to remove under methods, it says remove the line from the, I'd like to remove schedule.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Self. Going on to discussion for the motion. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the motion? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. Back into discussion of the bill. Chief Justice Tabor.
Something I want to just to say to the Senate. Obviously, this bill is centered around not me, but instead my job role. Just don't try and remove me from the picture, Chief Justice Tabor, because the idea is that we're giving motioning privileges to the Chief Justice role in general, and obviously, somebody like myself, right? I, maneuver in this space with you guys for a long time now. But if there's ever a discussion of whether or not this should or should not be, you should remove me from that equation. So I yield.
Do we have any further discussion? Pro Tem Fees.
So I guess I'll give a little context. So the Chief Justice we brought back last year, and that isn't something that has been developed. This is the first time in a while the Chief Justice. So we're trying to sort of set a precedent as to what the Chief Justice should be doing, and that's the legal process. Part of the reason behind this is if we have a Chief Justice, they should be an expert on our policy. So if there's something on the table that's for nothing or contradictory to our policies, procedures, financial policy, or Constitution, they should be the person to speak up and say, hey, this contradict that we have, how can we fix this? So because of that, we wanted to give them that sort of motion power. We didn't have the expertise, but it gives them a little more, not necessarily say, but it gives the government right on the Senate to kind of do their job. I would like to hear others' opinions on this, but obviously this is something that we don't have necessary. I don't know.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
Under methods on line 13.1.0, it says motions are to be made for all actions taken. Motions may be made by senators, organizational leaders, and the Chief Justice only. I was just wondering, who are they referring to by saying organizational leaders? I yield to the floor.
I'll just confirm for that. That's basically all of the org heads at the current table, which is Wildcat Media, Esports, as well as the Factory Times, Club Funding Board, and Wildcat Events Board. No problem. Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rogers.
Ability to, or supposed to be given the job to know these sort of things and be an influence. They should have the power to, I guess, influence. I wouldn't really describe this as direct, but it's just there. I'll yield.
Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, as this is a new business, we'll be going on to the next, which is Resolution 2223-11, which is Senate confirmation of William Schnorr and Senator DeHaop.
Number 2223-11.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Pro Tem Fees.
We, the Senate of SUNY Poly, student government at Utica, do hereby resolve. The purpose of this resolution is to confirm William Schnur as senator in the student government at Utica. Whereas the executive board has nominated William Schnur to fill a vacant first-year senator position within the student government at Utica, therefore be enacted. The student government at Utica Senate consider confirm the nomination of William Schnur as first-year senator, therefore be it resolved. Be it resolved, contractual obligation pertaining to the Senate position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted. And be it finally resolved, the Senate of the student government at Utica will have an additional member to represent the student of SUNY Poly.
Pro Tem Fees.
I would like to make a motion to allow our candidate 1 minute to get
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Self. Going on to discussion for the motion. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the motion? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So at this time, thank you for coming up to the mic, William. We'll have 1 minute to introduce yourself, so if you'd like to give a quick introduction.
Hello everyone, my name is William Schnorr. I'm a first-year mechanical engineering technology major. I am very excited to be a prospective candidate to be a senator for SGU. I have previous experience in leadership and just general leadership again through previous time in my high school's Senate, as well as spending 3 years as the technical director of my school's drama club, where I was in charge of all aspects and in charge of a team around 8 people to complete all tasks needed by our director. I was also a senior patrol leader of my Boy Scout troop for 2 years, and I have previous experience in building maintenance, working 2 years as a maintenance technician.
Your time is up.
Okay.
I apologize to interrupt. But if anybody would like to motion. I yield.
Pro Tem Fees.
I'd like to make a motion to limit question period to 5 questions.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Rosamilia. Going on to discussion for the motion. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the motion? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So at this time, if any senators would like to ask any questions, and as the motion was, it's a limit of 5. Senator Zoff.
What leadership style do you follow personally? I yield.
Personally, as a leader, I follow how I like to be led. In that manner, I prefer to be given, or I'll be speaking from how I lead. I like to give out a direction and let people kind of take hold of it and run with it as they please, but also if they have a question or if they need guidance, I am more than happy to give that to them. Yeah.
Pro Tem Fees.
So obviously you're doing this for so your staffers that you put down and
A small issue I've noticed about is a lot of the pathway lights on campus seem to be broken or non-functioning. And I just noticed, like one time somebody was walking, they took out a flashlight as they were walking on a path on campus. So I think just lighting around campus is a big deal that I would like to see fixed.
Do we have any further questions for the candidate? Senator Rosamilia.
how do you feel overall in being in the part of the student government at Utica? I yield to our audience member.
I'm sorry, could you clarify?
How do you feel as being a part of the student government at Utica? I yield.
I'm very excited to take up this position. I have not had much involvement yet at this school, but I'm excited to become more involved and take up some roles that I used to have in my high school.
Do we have any further questions? Senator Self.
Motivate someone that may say they're down and just like down for the day. How would you motivate them? I yield to our audience member.
Personally, I would encourage them to look at what did go their way that day and what they might have coming up looking forward to them. Throughout the week, you may have had a hardship today, but look what's coming up. You have more chances to do more.
One more question does remain, so if any senators who have not asked a question yet would like to offer one. Seeing none, pro tem fees.
So in your role as senator, you'll be working directly with faculty and staff to help maintain our campus. How do you plan on handling possible conflicts with faculty and staff? I yield to you.
Is this conflicts between our goals and the faculty and staff?
This would be conflicts on how which you
Okay. During my time as the technical director at my high school, we had a full renovation of our auditorium, which led to a lot of loose ends not being tied up, things not being completed, items that we needed to have finished in time for us to put on a show. Through this time, I gained a lot of experience contacting faculty, staff of the school, contractors, different companies to complete said items. And through that, I feel like I have a pretty good knowledge of how to work through different people's ideas and how to work around what they want to try to mitigate offenses or ill feelings that they may have towards our thoughts.
That concludes the questioning period, so I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session. So moved by Senator Self. Do we have a second? Seconded by Pro Tem Fees. Do we have any discussion about going into executive session? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to going into executive session? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So just a quick explanation of executive session. At this time, the current candidate as well as the audience members, if you may temporarily just step out of the room so the senators may discuss it among themselves. right. At this time, I'd like to congratulate you, William. The resolution passed 6-0-0. And right on to the next resolution. 2223-12, Senate confirmation for Bella Totino. Again, apologies if I mispronounce any names. I'll learn them over time, but Senator Rosamilia.
Motion to accept Senate Resolution number 2223-12.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Self.
We, the Senate of SUNY Poly Student Government at Utica, do hereby resolve. The purpose of this resolution is to confirm Bella Totino as senator in the student government at Utica. Whereas the executive board has nominated Bella Totino to fill a vacant second-year senator position within the student government at Utica, therefore be it enacted, the student government at Utica Senate considers and confirms the nomination of Bella Totino as a second-year senator. Therefore, be it resolved. Be it resolved. Contractual obligations pertaining to the Senate position shall begin at the conclusion of the Senate meeting in which this resolution is adopted. And be it finally resolved, the Senate of the student government at Utica will have an additional member to represent the students of SUNY Poly. I yield.
Senator Self. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Rogers. Do we have any discussion for having the candidate introduce themselves for 1 minute? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the motion? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So at this time, thank you, Bella, for coming up to the mic. You'll have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Bella Totino. I'm a first-year mechanical engineering tech major. I have many instances in leadership positions throughout my community, one of which was in my volunteer system through my animal shelter, helping bring up new volunteers in building our network of people. Another one was helping teach kids throughout my martial arts school, and also bringing them up through our network and helping build a good kind of concrete structure and foundation between our schools.
Do we have any discussion? Our president?
I entertain the motion to, what are the questions? 5 questions.
So moved by Senator Rosamilia. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Self. Do we have any discussion about motioning to limit to 5 questions? Seeing none, does anyone oppose unanimous consent to the motion? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So at this time, if any senators or anyone at the Horseshoe would like to ask questions, Pro Tem Fees.
One thing I take in with my teaching and my training is kind of hearing out other people's opinions and their ideas and their kind of views on how to deal with certain situations, and I kind of take those into account before going in and tackling situations or conflicts.
Do we have another question? Senator Self.
Could you tell us a time you had demonstrated your leadership skills at work or in class?
Further explain, please.
Have you put in your leadership through like a rigorous course at a time? For say this is just a random scenario I'm pulling out of my head right now. Say there's a bunch of people fighting, how would you use your leadership to try to decipher that fight and get it to calm down to where there's a common ground?
Kind of similar to what I was saying before. I would kind of see what they were coming from, see their ideas from what they were saying, and kind of work to make a common ground.
Do we have any further questions? Pro Tem Fees.
So I'm going to repeat the question I asked William. Again, we'll be working with faculty and staff, the same goals that we had here, but obviously
One thing I would do is very similar to what I was saying before with last two questions, kind of seeing what needs to be addressed, what kind of conflicts need to be fixed, and kind of addressing it before going in and tackling it.
Do we have any further questions? Our Chief Justice.
I'm gonna take a page out of our pro tem's book, which is a page out of my book. But if you could snap your fingers and change one thing on campus, what would it be?
Something similar to what William was saying would be the lighting around campus and.
All right. Do we have any further questions? Again, this will be the last question. So, CFB?
If you can name anything else besides lighting, anything else on the campus, whether it's food, housing, anything like that.
Something would be probably the event schedule, like maybe having more events, like more centered around weekends, because from personal experience, they can kind of get kind of boring around weekends, so probably having more events planned on around weekends. And
All right. So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session. So moved by Senator Self. Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Rosamelia. Going on to voting for going on to executive session. Does anyone oppose unanimous consent? Seeing none, that passes 6-0-0. So at this time, it's the same process, just if all audience members could temporarily leave the room. I'd like to congratulate Bella. Thank you for coming. You passed 600. All right. At this time, just make sure the current candidates stay just for when we get to swear-ins, just so you'll be able to get inaugurated into the position. So, at this time, we'll be discussing our last business, Resolution 2223-13, SAE Baja Club Extra Funding Request. Senator D'Argenio was the original reader, so pro tem fees.
Senate Resolution number 2223-13, SAE Baja Club Extra Funding Request.
Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Self.
We as Senate of City College Student Government at Haiti hereby resolve. The purpose of the resolution is to support the SAE Baja Club and providing the club with $3,000 in extra funding, whereas the City College SAE Baja team, Wildcat Motorsports, building off-road vehicles from scratch each year, in a series of events with schools from around the globe. And Wildcat Motorsports only receives $500 in activity funding through CFP for the semester. Wildcat Motorsports has asked for extra funding from CFP and has received a maximum of $5,000. Wildcat Motorsports has completed a fundraiser raising nearly $800. Wildcat Motorsports is in the midst of building a new car to bring to Oregon, therefore be enacted. Wildcat Motorsports will be able to build a better car for the new competition in Oregon with the extra funding and therefore be a result. SGU will give funding, will give the club $3,000 in extra funding by completing a line transfer and be finally resolved. Wildcat Motorsports will place the SGU logo on the car as a sponsor of the event.
So at this time, if our audience member would like to talk about this.
I was just here to answer any questions, if anybody had any questions about the resolution. I yield to
Alright.
Sean.
Sorry. I'd like to entertain a motion to put in $3,000 after $3,000 line 990, and yeah, I'll yield. I have another question.
So moved by Senator Rosamilia. Do we have a second? Seconded by Pro Tem Fees. Going on to discussion for the motion. Is there any discussion? Wildcat Media. I yield to the treasurer.
Line 90 is in SGU's budget. We purposely set aside $10,000 for clubs who are requesting extra funding once they receive that max $5,000 from CFB per academic year. I yield.
Do we have any further discussion? CFB.
Question for Haley. So after you get the $3,000, are you sure that that's going to be enough for you guys?
Oh, it is absolutely positively not going to be enough. We're also planning we're planning 2 different fundraisers for next semester as well. The cost to get to Oregon is in the neighborhood of $15,000 for travel alone. Building a Baja car each year does cost in the neighborhood of an additional $15,000, the bare minimum. Currently, I believe we have around $12,000 in our budget from money that we've fundraised this semester, as well as our $5,000 extra funding and our fundraisers we've completed. We've completed a couple fundraisers this semester, totaling over $1,000 already.
Senator Rosamilia.
Point of clarification, what does SAE stand for the budget team?
Yep, SAE stands for the Society of Automotive Engineers. The Wildcat Motorsports team is the collegiate chapter of Society of Automotive Engineers for SUNY Poly.
Thank you.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll be going on to voting for the motion. All those in favor? All those who oppose? And all those who abstain? With that, that passes 4-0-2. Going back on discussion of the resolution. Pro Tem Fees.
So you're asking those questions about that one for travel expense or just for them?
At this point, we are still in the midst of building the car, so we've not yet fully planned our travel expenses at this point. So that the $3,000 that would be allocated would be going towards the building of the car. We are only asking for $3,000 due to the Constitution stipulation that clubs can only ask for $8,000 per year.
Senator Rosamilia.
This is kind of like a point of information, kind of like the exec board. Do you need like the paid by your student activities fee on the SGU logo? That's gonna be on the budget card. Are you to the exec board?
It's required on posters, but I don't think there's any requirement on it for something like that.
I mean, it is a very large poster.
Yes, yes. But aside from that, do we have any further discussion? Pro Tem Fees.
Can you talk a little bit more about, like, I guess, not necessarily a part, but like, what exactly towards that $3,000 going towards, like, I guess what kind of materials are going to be buying?
Okay, so the challenge this year, so if you've never seen the Baja car, it is a steel tube frame vehicle. We fabricate the frame from scratch each year, and every single component on the car is either fabricated or purchased. So we've, at this point, we've purchased all our tubing for our frame. We're in the process of fabricating our frame. If you want to see video proof of that, you can go on our Instagram at SUNY Poly Baja and follow us on there to see that. But we will be buying differentials, wheels, tires, a rack and pinion system for our steering, as well as paying for powder coating and painting expenses, body panel expenses, advertising expenses for all of our sponsors' logos on the car.
Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, as this is a resolution, we'll be going on to voting. All those in favor? All those who oppose? And all those who abstain? With that, that passes 5-0-1. At this time, that concludes all business, so we'll be going on open forum. If we have anything for open forum. Wildcat Media. We do have swear-ins, so we have 2. And our audience member.
So that's really odd. I just want to make a general statement here, and I'm speaking as a student, not as the pro temp, right? Student government meetings are scary. Like, I think we are all aware of that. We're in suits, we sit here and we use Robert's rules. And for, I think CFB brought up a good point about students are not necessarily afraid of us, but they're intimidated by this organization. We are formal. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I would like to publicly bring up the idea of an informal town hall. We have a coffee house line that I would like to possibly rededicate to having, like, once a month or bi-weekly or whatever we decide. We have an informal meeting in here in which our committee heads and our executive board or even our organizational heads could be here and speak with students on an informal level. I think it's inviting people to come in and talk to us outside of these meetings, because at the end of the day, we are an intimidating organization, and I know that. I mean, I was a first year coming in here and talking to you people, and while you're all very nice, we're still following a set of rules that's really not, I guess, mainstream for students between the ages of, 18 and 24. So I don't need to hear any opinions now. I can always talk with execs later, and this is something I brought up privately, but I just want to put it kind of on everybody's radar that, if we want to increase student engagement, I think creating an informal town hall in which students could come and talk to SGU would be really beneficial, because I, as a first year, would have absolutely attended those. The meetings here, not so much. I yield.
Our president.
So you can say if you want. Yeah. So yeah, I just encourage you to use your role as the pro temp to set up those meetings if you'd like. Obviously, you have the resources to do so. So I encourage you and your committee to definitely set those up.
Do we have any further discussion? Senator Rosamilia.
Will those meetings would be like within the same meeting, or like right before as the meeting starts, like as the session starts? Are you, Senator Refuse?
Ideally, those would be like during the protest meetings or council protest meeting, and would bring 1 to 2 SDR, and we get like, I don't know, coffee or something, and then it would be round tables where students would just chill out if they wanted to. They also have the chance to talk to each other. This is not the proposal idea. It's a proposal.
Do we have any further discussion for open forum? Seeing none, as with that concludes open forum. Going on to swear-ins. So, if you're currently getting sworn in today, please step into the center of the horseshoe.
For those of you who are online due to weather, you can just unmute your mic. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name. Will faithfully uphold the student government at Utica Constitution and carry out the duties of. State your organization and position. Yep. To the best of my ability. And will represent the student of SUNY Poly in a fair and unbiased manner. Congratulations. Please come up and sign your name here.
All right. At this time, do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn by Senator Self. Do we have a second? Correct.
Oh, plus they just got sworn in, so they count as votes too. That's cool. Oh,
Let's just they need to have training first. We can't do that, but yes. So pro temp fees.
Okay, I would like to, should I motion to, I would like to motion to amend the previous, just to say that we adjourn until, hold on.
I'm not going to recognize that motion. Senator Self, would you just like to revoke your motion just so this is more simpler? Revoked. Do we have a motion to December 1st? Do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Rogers. Does anyone oppose unanimous consent to adjournment? No. All right, seeing none, that's 6-0-0.